Do you ever get the feeling that your twin flame actually does love you, even though they are being distant or they're rejecting you, they're keeping you at an arm's length, maybe? They're still talking to you, but just kind of keeping you at an arm's length, or not talking to you at all, but just kind of the way that they act around you, body language, the things that they say, some of their actions, it leaves you feeling confused, like, wait, do they care about me? Do they love me? How can I tell if they actually love me or not? And on top of that, why are they acting like this? Well, we're going to address all of those things. And guys, I was there too, right? I met my twin flame and I went through all the same types of rejections while at the same time going, it's like she actually loves me or something, but I can't put my finger on what she's doing. Why is she acting like this? And it's confusing. Well, I'm going to dispel the confusion for you. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kurt, and I'm the world's leading twin flame coach. I've coached well over 4,000 students. That's a lot of people, guys. Now, how did I do it? Well, I approach this scientifically. Your twin flame is you in another body. They are your soul in another body. The soul incarnates, right? Past lives, right? Reincarnation. It does that. The soul does that. You just have two going on right now. That's all this is. And you may be wondering, well, Kurt, if that's my soul and the soul is good, right? We think the soul is good, right? If that's my soul over there, why are they acting like that? Well, there's more to it than that. You have to take into account the mind, right? Body, mind, soul. You have to take all three of those components into account. And we're going to be talking about that in this video. What are twin flames and how do I tell if this person loves me or not? And are they being honest or not? So let's talk about what the signs are. And first, let's just quickly go over what we are commonly told are the signs that your twin flame is thinking about you, or they love you, or they're going to be coming back soon. You know, these types of things. What are the things that you commonly see online in the so-called twin flame community that indicate your twin flame loves you, or something's about to happen, or all of the above? Well, usually you're going to see stuff like you're going to see their name around a bunch, or you're going to see numbers, repeating number patterns, or you get visions about them, or synchronistic events that take place in your life situation that seem to lead you back to them, or reminders of them, or just stuff like that, which most of those things are externalized. They're happening out there. And what I think you're going to notice in this video is it's an internalized experience. And even the visions, like if you're getting visions about them, is technically from a purely spiritual standpoint externalized. In ancient Zen spiritualism, they point out that the mind is actually external to you. You are the consciousness, which is the soul. The mind is something that the consciousness of soul has. It's like you take it with you everywhere you go. You have it. It's thought, right? It's identity, it's form, and it's duality. I like it, I don't like it. You, me, past, future, good, bad, yin, yang. It's the mind, it's mental. But the soul is consciousness. And remember, you and your twin flame are the same soul. That's what everybody says. And it is absolutely true. You guys are the same soul. But where we get dragged into the confusion is the thinking about it, the mental, kind of getting into the sticks about it is where people get confused. And it turns out that's actually why your twin flame runs away from you or is keeping you at an arm's length, is when we approach it through the duality of mind. For at the level of the mind, you and your twin flame are duality. Remember, you are one being with this person. So it's the exact opposite with your twin flame. It's duality, yin, yang, alpha, omega, push, pull. The harder you push, the harder they pull away. The harder you focus on them, the harder they're going to focus on anything but you. And so, as with my students, for example, the first thing I do is I coach them on how to do what I call a detox. And detox is nothing more than just take all of your mental, emotional, and metaphysical focus off the person. And when you do, they come back so fast it'll make your head spin. And you haven't even started with the deeply spiritual work yet, right? You've just kind of stopped paying attention to them and they come back. It's like magic. Now, the deeply spiritual work, that's where the signs are. They're not out there. Even the mind technically is external to you because what you is, what that is, what is me, what is that? What you is consciousness. That's what you are. You are the soul. That's your twin flame. When you approach it through the duality separation consciousness of the mind, that's why they run. That's why you have separation. And in ancient Zen spiritualism, they have always called it separation consciousness. When you transcend the duality separation consciousness of ego, mind, personality, they call that unity consciousness. That's when your twin flame comes back. And in the so-called twin flame community, they call that union, unity consciousness. But that's where that word came from. It came from, the Tao, ancient Buddhism and ancient Christianity, and the yogi master of the ancients, right? This is an ancient Zen spiritual teaching that I'm discussing with you today. Why would it be anything else? Your twin flame is your soul. So the true signs are really the things that happen internally for you. Okay, you'll have a sense of knowing that your twin flame is coming back. It's a sense. It's not mental. It's not a thing that you, the seer, see in the mind out there, right? And if you're confused about that, let's stop right here for just a second, if this is new to you, and let's talk about that for just 1 second, because that's very important if you really want to understand what I'm explaining to you right now. So there's thoughts and feelings going on, and you notice the thoughts and feelings going on. Why am I thinking about this? Why is this happening? And let's face it, with the obsessive thinking that happens after your twin flame runs away from you for the first time, you can't not notice the thinking. So there's thinking going on, and you notice that thinking is going on, but did you ever notice that you are the noticer? You are the witness, the watcher of thought. You are consciousness. That's your soul. So you, the consciousness, are here watching the mind out there. Get it? And that's really how that works in ancient Zen spiritualism. And even today, epigenetics, same thing. The human triune machine, body, mind, soul, that's how that machine works. That's how it functions. You are the consciousness, but you have a mind. You take it with you. It's like an astronaut who wears a spacesuit. So when your twin flame is thinking about you, or if they are loving you, you're just going to know it. It's a sense. It's like, how do you know that you are consciousness? And you're like, well, I just know that. That's just the only thing that could be. It has to be me. I am the source of consciousness. Right. You just know it. It's a sensation. It's intuitive. They've even called it Satori sometimes. And it's not thought. It's not the mind. The mind possibly is what's creating the number synchronicities that you see out in the 3D physical world. This is your spiritual awakening, and that is exactly why that is happening. And anybody who's on any kind of a spiritual awakening path, whether they've met their other incarnation, what you call twin flame, whether they've met their other incarnation or not, doesn't matter. Somebody that just had life circumstances that caused this breakdown of the ego personality, which they have always called ego death in ancient Zen spiritualism. We call it dark night of the soul, but it's the exact same thing. Anybody who's having that experience, they're going to have the exact same thing happen. Once the ego breaks down enough and consciousness is starting to expand, you feel very, very different, don't you? And you start to see number synchronicities everywhere, and you don't even have to meet your twin flame. That's just anybody's spiritual awakening. Now, why is that? Because this is your spiritual awakening. That's all this is. And you just have to treat it that way. You don't want to treat this like it's a twin flame journey. You should actually make that as an affirmation. Shit. Type that down in the comments section below. Make that affirmation right now. This is my spiritual awakening, and I just need to treat it that way. This is not a twin flame journey. Type that down below, guys. That is exactly what this is, and you just need to treat it that way. Your twin flame is your spirit. They are your soul, right? So when your twin flame is thinking about you, you're going to feel it in your whole being. And that's the best way that I can really describe it. It's intuition. It's a sense. It's a very, very deep knowing. Now, here's another thing that could be happening. Here's another sign that you could be experiencing. You haven't given this person a thought in ages. You haven't given this person a thought in ages. You haven't even thought of them. Why? Because you are not the thinker. You are not that which thinks of the person. That is the identity entity, as I call it. The ego, the personality, the pain body. That's the term that Eckhart Tolle gave to it. Speaking of which, if you want to get your twin flame to come back, that's what you need to do, dude. You need to read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You need to do soul stuff. Not mind stuff. You don't need to do any healing or clearing karma or balancing your inner feminine and masculine or healing your inner child or any of that stuff. That's all metaphysics and pseudopsychology. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with those things, especially if you're dealing with perhaps a soulmate. But this isn't soulmates, guys. This is your soul. It's not two souls mated together. It's your soul. There's no mental thing at all that's going to help you with this. Mental is exactly what's pushing them away. Again, the mind is duality, yin, yang, opposites. I focus on you, you focus on anything but me. Right? You push, they pull away. It's that simple, guys. You are completely polarized, completely mirrored, energetically with your twin flame, not psychologically. Their own psychological stuff is their own psychological stuff. And you've got your psychological stuff, and that's A-okay, and it's not bad for you to work with that, but that's not going to help you here with your soul. All you need to do is soul stuff. You just completely get out of the mind. It's pure transcendentalism. That's really all this is, right? Like Paramahansa Yogananda, Eckhart Tolle, Buddha, Hare Krishna, right? You guys know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. This is get out of the ego. And I don't even mean ego in the negative sense of the word, like arrogant. It's personality. It's the identity entity. It's where you derive your sense of self from. You transcend that. And when you do, you're going to feel it and you're going to know that they are coming back. You're just going to know it. And you're not even going to be focusing on them. You're not even going to be thinking about them. And everything around you is going to transform. Your whole life transforms around you. And you feel at one with everything. There's another sign. I mean, look at all the signs that I've just given you, right? You have a knowing, you haven't given them a thought, and you feel connected to everything, right? You know they're coming back. You're transcending the mind. You're not even focusing on them, and you feel connected to everything. Everything. You're doing soul stuff. That's spiritual, right? Spiritual is not mental. It is not healing. Healing is not bad, but that's, the mental body. That's the identity entity, the energy cloud that surrounds us, the energy cloud of retained thought and emotional patterns, right? The ego personality, it's where you derive your sense of self from. But you are no longer deriving your sense of self from that entity. You are the true self. You start to recognize that form was always an illusion. I was never this identity. And the identity certainly isn't bad at all, but that's not who you are. And instead of living through it, you just kind of wield it from now on. You follow me? That's how you get your twin flame back, and that's how you can tell if they're thinking of you or not. A deeply spiritual experience, transcending the duality of mind and of ego. And then you're just going to know that they love you and that they're on their way back. I hope this video helped to clear up a lot of the confusion for you. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.